Hello my beautiful and amazing people, badass Dark Zone agents, Uncle Butcher in the building with perhaps one of the best facing builds ever created in Division 2, which can work in PvP and as well in PvE. You have to switch only one thing, and that's the weapon. It depends on your preference which weapon you want to use. For PvE, I would recommend you to stick with Exotic Assault Rifle Chameleon because it's badass, just like you. Uncle Butcher in the building with another crazy setup. Like I said, this will work in DZ and of course in PvE, heroic or legendary content. Why? Because we have shit ton of armor regen, 7% guys, 7% armor regen is nuts. On top of that, like I said, hazard protection and weapon damage. But for PvE content, for heroic missions, control points, you don't need hazard protection really, so leave armor regen attribute and roll crit damage or crit chance. Since we are using Exotic Assault Rifle Chameleon, DPS will not be a problem because Adaptive Instincts talent will give us freaking 90% additional weapon damage. 90, brother, 90. And I forgot to mention the best part about this setup, that we have infinite amount of medkits. Pair it up, perfectly efficient chest piece talent with 7% armor regen, and you will have on your hands immortal setup with all the hazard protection in PvP. Good luck somebody to take you down with Ouroboros or Lady Dead. But before we continue, quick word from the sponsor DPS.net. If you don't have enough time or good teammates but you still want to have all the best items in your game, then DPS.net is set for you. They have absolutely amazing team on consoles. They will complete your order super quick. If you will use my promo code RBDIV or RBDIA, you will receive 15% discount on absolutely all services. Amazing deal. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate, drop your comment down below in comment section or contact the operator. But now let's get back to this legendary setup, which is absolutely badass. And again, we have multiple synergies here, and one of those is that actually we have scanner pulls with 8-second cooldown as well, which is insane in Dark Zone. Yes, you heard me right, my beautiful bastard, that will work in Dark Zone as well. 8-second cooldown, duration is like 12-13 seconds, so most of the time enemies will be pulsed. And so that's the reason why my second weapon is the Named Assault Rifle Kingbreaker with perfect flatline talent. That's absolutely easy money. We have shit ton of synergies in this one. We are extremely tanky. Medkit is nasty as hell. We can pull like 15 medkits easily because perfectly efficient talent is absolutely nuts, and once the medkit is used, nobody will be able to take you down with 7% armor regen. Guys, buckle up, we have a lot to cover here. Ooh, this one is something special. For specialization, for PvP and PvE, we will use Firewall specialization. Flamethrower still one taps anybody in conflict. Medkit is the key reason why we are using this specialization, because Medkit will give us armor regen for 10 seconds and we will be basically immortal. For PvE, I'm using Exotic Assault Rifle Chameleon because it will give me Adaptive Instincts talent. First of all, 90% additional weapon damage. Then we can gain crit chance and crit damage. We're gonna cap out crit chance, and that crit damage is all we need. So for PvE content, absolutely must have weapon. Yes, you could use technically St. Elmo's in PvP and PvE, but Chameleon will give us more DPS in PvE. For PvP, if you want to use any top tier SMGs, I would recommend you to use Ouroboros or Lady Dead. In Dark Zone, Lady Dead will work really well, just like Ouroboros. Or if you love assault rifles, use St. Elmo's for PvP action instead of Chameleon. Chameleon is for PvE only use. So PvE, brother, I think I explained myself pretty well here. Why my second weapon is Kingbreaker, named assault rifle? Because we are using named Gilligard mask, which is giving me 100% scanner cooldown or scanner skill haste. Basically, our scanner pulse has only 8-second cooldown, but duration is 12 or 13 seconds. Our enemies will be pulsed non-stop, and Flatline will give us amplified weapon damage, and Kingbreaker is one of the hardest hitting assault rifles in the game. So this buff will work as well in Dark Zone. So we're gonna pulse enemies non-stop, and you can switch to Kingbreaker to deal extra damage with Flatline talent. It's pretty much game over. So Gilligard, name and mask with scanner pulse, a skill haste attribute. For chest piece, I'm using Bellastone Armory chest piece with perfectly efficient talent. This talent will allow us to pull multiple medkits, 10-12 medkits easily with this 7% armor regen. That's game over. Nothing and nobody will take us down. For PvP, guys, stick with armor regen and hazard protection attributes. Hazard protection is a really valuable attribute in PvP. If somebody will try to foam you, set on fire, or apply shock or bleed, you will be pretty well resistant to all those status effects. So for face tank value, hazard protection is really good. Again, for PvE though, you can replace hazard protection with crit chance or crit damage. Leave armor regen as your second attribute. For backpack, I'm using Memento backpack. With full stacks, we will gain 3% armor regen, trophies will give us bonus armor, and we will be tanky as hell. I'm using 3 pieces from Gilligard set to gain additional health and armor regen. I have 1.9 million armor and almost 600k health. We are extremely tanky. For the boots, for the knee pads, I'm using Murakami named knee pads with additional armor regen percent. But if you want more DPS, you can replace these knee pads with Fenris knee pads for assault rifle damage buff, or if you will use Ouroboros or Lady Death, you can use Sokolov knee pads for SMG damage buff. But if you need more hazard protection, use Jarl's knee pads, and then you can gain additional 20% hazard protection and be immune to any goddamn status effect. So this build is absolutely nasty, and I think must have in your inventory. One of the best face tank builds for PvP and PvE.